Pitch up, look sharp here. We're going for a little wild camp in Dartmoor. Here we are. I'm with my GF and dog, just there.
Maybe that's why they've got that fence up, just because like...
Use this as footage. Hey, thought I'd just show you guys this little metal stove that I've got. Having a little fire. Picked up on Amazon for about, I think it's around 20 quid, which seems like quite a lot, but considering it's just thin bits of metal. Comes in a little bag, but annoyingly the zip's broken straight away. So maybe that's a sign of things to come, I don't know. I'll give it a test today anyway, tonight. It's quite handy because it's compact and it folds out to be a little fire, which is very easy to set up. Let me just get this together. So, bish bash bosh. You've got the option of 2 different grills. That sits on the top, sits underneath. Right, and there you go. So it sets up like that, and you've got this little firebox. But your wood needs to be, you know, cut so it's small enough to fit into this chamber. I think it looks pretty cool. It's quite a tidy little stove. Obviously it's just so that there's no risk of the fire spreading. You can control it, and you can also cook off it, which is really handy. Yeah, like I said, I'll see how I get on. Anyway, not too late, but dusk is setting in. We've hunkered in the tent just because it's a bit sporadic with the rain. We're all in here, cozying up. Gonna wait to put the little fire on, but probably leave it until late as possible. Yeah, it's all good. Hey, so it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. Stayed the night in Dartmoor. Hey, so I'm back from the Dartmoor trip, and I've got the stuff drying off on the radiators. There's the Dutch Army tent drying off. There's a couple of things I forgot to mention, which I thought I'd just do a little follow-up video. Some conclusions about our trip in Dartmoor. Yeah, it was really good. We really enjoyed ourselves. Really nice part of the world, part of England to go for a camping trip. Really wild, loads of wild horses, and yeah, it's very boggy this time of year. As you can see in the video, water is just pooling everywhere, and a little bit tricky to find a good wild camping spot. We're definitely not like experienced wild campers, so any advice people had on equipment or setup or places to go for people to wild camp. I'm in the southwest, but we could travel further away, further afield. Would be greatly appreciated. Here's just some of the things we found out from that trip, which might be of use to someone else, I don't know. So taking the Dutch Army tent out for its first excursion out wild camping, it looks great. It looks so like fitting in that environment. It's camo, so no one's going to really notice you're there, which is great. we walked around, I think it was about 2 hours we walked, and then set up a camping spot. So in terms of weight, because weight is one of the things I was a bit worried about, this wasn't really testing that, because there's two of us. I took the tent with some stuff, and my girlfriend took sleeping bag and other stuff. So I do want to test it for a single, like, solo camping trip, because it was fine splitting the weight between two of us. The only thing I did experience with my rucksack is that even though the weight itself wasn't bad, it just, I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but it just cuts in here, right across your collarbone. And basically, I looked online and I found some additional padding that will go on your backpack, on the straps, because it's not the weight that's the problem. It's just that it starts to cut in, and I'm holding it away from myself to try and stop it cutting in. With the Dutch Army tent, it is described as a 1 to 2 man tent. Now, it's fine with me and my girlfriend because it's very snug, and we had a dog in there as well, which was round in between our legs. But I don't think it's the sort of tent you'd take with a friend, because it's way too cozy, let's just say. But it definitely can work as a 2 man tent. The only problem, now with dampness, it did come for a little bit, and I've still got to waterproof the tent, which I'll do in the summer. But that wasn't actually the main cause of damp for us, even though it was pretty heavy rain. We were just getting quite a lot of condensation from underneath our sleeping bag and the ground sheet. We didn't have any sleeping mats or inflatable sleeping mats, which would totally solve that problem. Held out on buying a sleeping mat, or especially inflatable ones. I'm so skeptical of them. I think I'm just going to concentrate on a mat, and I've got a mat in mind. I've placed an order. I'll see what you guys think on the next camping trip we do. Hopefully some sort of sleeping mat will just take the edge off that. It's always going to, I think wild camping is always going to be a bit of an ordeal. It's more for the experience, something different. You're kind of getting out into a different environment, and it's a bit of like adventure about it, rather than our other camping setup, which is exclusively for campsites. So yeah, we have, as you can see, we had a bit of a problem. Hey, yeah, I'm just going to talk about a little fire which didn't work in the end because the wood was far too wet. I had some firelighters, but it was just not going to happen. Like I said, I should have brought some kindling, but I put a little spanner in the works of our plans before bed, because that's a nice bit of evening entertainment, just watching a fire, a bit of light, a bit of heat, and we're going to cook off it. So in the end we had to eat our dinner cold. But anyway, when we actually got to Dartmoor, I've been to Dartmoor a couple of times, and I've not been to this spot we went to this time. I was expecting it to be a bit more wooded. I know obviously it's moorland, like grazing land, so I was expecting there to be, because I've been to parts which have got more woods, or at least more trees, and so I was expecting there to be more drier timber just underneath the undergrowth or underneath the canopy. Therefore, when we got there, and there was almost no trees about. There was only one fallen tree which I cut some branches off. It was absolutely saturated wet. It was completely soaking wet, the wood. I gave it a go, but there was no way it was going to work. I didn't bring any dry kindling, which is a bit of a problem, really. Next time I'll bring something in reserve. Also, we need a backup stove of some sort of small gas stove for lightweight. So we've got something which we can cook off, probably, so we don't need to make a fire. So that'll be better in the mornings and stuff like that. The one successful thing was that I took the punt and I bought this little folding camping chair. So
really simple idea. All it is just it's like a chair, a flat pack chair, which you pack away, which was in the back of my backpack. This I thought was quite useful when you get it in shot, and you just fold it up, and it takes the weight off your lower back when you're sitting. So obviously when you're doing wild camping, you're doing a lot of sitting on the ground. This relieves your lower back.
I think that's everything that I was going to say on this video.